You want to make the absolute most of your family vacation on MSC? After numerous adventures of our own on this Italian cruise line and a few unexpected surprises along the way, we've compiled a list of the 12 things we wished we would have known in advance that would have made our family cruises even better. These must-know hacks will help you maximize the fun and minimize the stress during your adventure on MSC, because I'm about to share everything you need to know. So if you're ready, I am. Let's go. Hey y'all. I'm Evan with Family at Sea. Whether you're new here or a loyal subscriber, welcome. We just got back from our adventures on the Seascape, Seashore, and Miraviglia. I couldn't wait to share all the details with you while they were still super fresh. Throughout the cruise, before, during, and even after, I kept track of all the fun family things we came across and some unexpected surprises along the way. Even if you think you've got it all figured out like we did, there's still some hidden gems on these beautiful ships that we wish we'd known about in advance that would have made our cruises even better. A quick note, I know some of you may not want to watch this entire video, and that's okay. Take a look in the description below, and one of the chapters may have exactly what you need. But if I missed something, let me know in the comments and I'm happy to help. And one last thing before we jump in. If you find this video useful or enjoyable, if you'd please take a moment to like and subscribe, it'd mean the absolute world to us and help us make even more great cruising content for you. So the first few of these hacks are things you're gonna wanna do before you even board the ship. First of those is to download the Kids Club registration forms from the MSC website. You're gonna wanna print one set out for each of your kids, fill them out, and bring them with you on board in your carry-on bag. Then once you're on the ship, go straight to the Kids Club area. You're gonna find a registration table right outside the main entrance of the Kids Club. And if you get there early, right when you board, you're gonna be able to breeze through things. It typically takes less than 5 minutes if you've already got those registration forms filled out and ready to go. If you wait a couple of hours, that line gets really long. It takes you 30, 45 minutes to get through the process. And when you first board the ship, that's the last thing you wanna be doing is waiting in a line. I've placed a link for where you can download these from the MSC website in the description below. Trust me, you'll be glad you did this. Hack number 2 is something that may not apply to all of you, but for those of you that it does, it's gonna make a really big difference. And that's this. If your little one is still taking baths in the bathtub, get them used to taking showers. The vast majority of stateroom bathrooms on the MSC ships do not have a bathtub. So unless you want to train them to use a shower for the very first time on a cruise ship away from home, start practicing at home, make it a fun challenge for them so that when you guys are on your cruise, it's something they're already used to, they're already comfortable with, and it's just a normal part of the day instead of a new experience. So this is one small change that's going to make a really big difference for those of you with little ones at home. There it is, hack number 2. Hack number 3 is something a lot of you are probably already putting a lot of thought into, but unless you're a veteran cruiser, especially on MSC, there's likely at least a couple of things that you're not even thinking about. And that is what needs to go on your packing list. So the first thing that's really easy to not even think about are water shoes. And water shoes are absolutely essential on MSC cruises through the Caribbean, because if you go to Ocean Cay, which almost all the MSC cruises do, when you go out on that beach, the beaches are absolutely gorgeous. It's truly beautiful, but they're very, very rocky. And so if your little ones especially don't have water shoes, they're gonna take 1 or 2 steps out there, their feet are gonna hurt, and they're gonna come running back. So bring water shoes. You're not gonna be able to use these on the water slides on the ship and some other areas, but you will want to have them when you need them most, and that's at the beaches of Ocean Cay. Some other things that you definitely wanna think about are first aid items. I don't just mean like their medications, their prescription or Tylenol and ibuprofen, but also little things that you may not need, but you'll be glad you have. That's things like tweezers and band-aids and things that you may be able to get on the ship, but if you can, it's going to be expensive. You're going to either have to go to the medical area or a gift shop, and if you just have them with you, it's going to make things so much easier. One other thing to consider there is to bring some aloe vera. So hopefully you're also bringing sunscreen so you don't get sunburned. When you've got light hair and fair skin like I do, I burn pretty quickly. But if you do, having aloe vera is definitely going to make that more bearable. Final thing there that I highly recommend is to bring some towel clips. If you've been on a cruise, you know that getting those lounge chairs by the pool is pretty competitive. So having towel clips will not only hold your towel there, it's also going to make sure that people know this spot is in fact taken. There you have it. Hack number 3. So this next hack is something that possibly could have been a part of the one before it, but I thought it was important enough that I want to break it out into its own section. And that is preventing seasickness. If you or your little ones are prone to motion sickness, seasickness could be an issue. Now, I will say I get motion sickness at times. My kids definitely do. And on all the cruises we've been on, knock on wood, I've only gotten it once and my kids have yet to get it. But I think a part of that is because we're pretty proactive in trying to prevent it. We often will do 2 different things to try and prevent seasickness. The first is there are things you can wear across your wrists called sea bands that have a little notch on the bottom of them that gently apply pressure to the underside of your wrist, essentially acupuncture. That is supposed to help prevent motion sickness or seasickness. Is it actually doing something or not? I don't know because we've never gotten seasickness while wearing them, but it's inexpensive enough and unobtrusive enough that just wearing it just in case really isn't a big deal. So oftentimes we will wear those. A second option that is also very unobtrusive and very inexpensive are little patches just behind your ears. These slowly emit some sort of medication or ginger scent or whatever that just helps your body acclimate itself to the sea, and it's supposed to help prevent seasickness. Again, no guarantees with any of this. All of our bodies react to things differently, but when we've worn those, it's never been an issue. So the majority of time when we go on cruises, we do spend a few dollars just to get some of these and wear them. Even if it's something maybe wear the first few days while your body adjusts, and then halfway through the cruise, you don't need them anymore. That's an option as well. You know, there's no exact science to this because all of our bodies do handle things differently. And then beyond that, there are some actual non-prescription medications you can take like Dramamine that will help prevent seasickness. My concern with those is a lot of times they can make you drowsy, maybe not more serious than seasickness, but can also have an impact on your vacation. So that's usually a last option for us. And then if you really think you or your little ones are going to have an actual issue with seasickness, there's prescription medications you can get from your doctor if you're thinking in advance. One thing just to be aware of there is that from what I've read, when your body comes off, you have to be very careful to kind of titrate off it or just slowly transition away from it, because if you don't, it can also cause sickness as your body adjusts to not having it in its system. That's a little bit weary for me. It's not a measure that we've ever taken, but if you are seriously concerned about seasickness or you know you're going to get seasickness, that is an option that I understand to be very effective as long as you're very careful with how it's prescribed. Let's dive into hack number 5, or should I say fly in. Fly in the day before your cruise departs. This might seem like an extra expense because you're going to have to pay for a hotel for the evening, but it's worth every penny. Arriving a day early ensures that any flight delays or cancellations don't cause you to miss your cruise. Imagine the stress of rushing through the airport, hoping to catch your flight on time, and then dealing with the nightmare that you may miss your cruise altogether. It's not worth the risk. By arriving the day before, you give yourself a buffer. You can relax, get a good night's sleep, and start your cruise stress-free. Plus, you'll have the chance to explore your port city that you're departing from the day before as well, which can be really valuable. Saving a few bucks by flying in the day of may seem tempting, but the peace of mind and chance to start your vacation on the right foot are priceless. So book that hotel room for the night before and set yourself up for a smooth, enjoyable start to your cruise adventure. Hack number 6 is all about packing the right essentials in your carry-on bag to ensure a smooth start to your cruise. First, make sure to have all of your travel documents with you in your carry-on bag or in your pocket, and do not put them in your checked bags or you're going to be in trouble. What I'm talking about there are your passports or your birth certificates with photo ID and anything else you're going to need to clear that boarding and identification process. My next tip here is to remember to pack any essential medications with you in your carry-on bag. In the very unlikely event that your bags are lost or severely delayed, the last thing you want is to be without your important medications for an extended period of time. So by carrying them in your carry-on bags, you can make sure that that doesn't happen. Finally, if you want to get to having fun even sooner, I recommend wearing your swimsuits as you board the ship, or at least putting them in your carry-on bag. When everybody else makes a beeline for the buffet and they're stressed waiting in lines and trying to find a table to eat, you can be having fun in the sun at the pool or on the water slides and really just enjoying things while you wait for your luggage to arrive at your room. So I highly recommend doing that if you enjoy the pools or the water slides at all. It's one of our go-to things and I highly recommend it. Finally, keep your jewelry or other valuables with you in your carry-on bag. We've never had an issue with anybody touching any of our stuff in our bags or even in the room if we leave it out. Why even take the chance, right? Why even put yourself in that position that somebody could do something? So by keeping it in your carry-on bag, it's in your control, and it's just something that will give you peace of mind while making sure that your valuables stay safe. By packing these essentials in your carry-on bag, you'll be ready to start your cruise vacation without a hiccup. So there it is, number 6. We're halfway through our 12 hacks for an unforgettable family vacation on MSC, but we got 6 more coming your way, so stay tuned. Hack number 7 is related to a couple of the hacks we already discussed, and that is to go ahead and register for the water slides as soon as you board the ship. Now in hack number 1, I told you the first thing you should do when you board is to register your kids At the Kids Club, with those registration forms you already printed out and filled out, and I stand by that. But the second thing you should do is to swing by the slides and get them registered for those. It's a really quick and simple process. It's basically just a liability waiver form you fill out that says you agree not to sue MSC if something happens. I'm sure they'll be safe, but you've got to do it if you want to ride the slides regardless, so you might as well get that knocked out. Now, something to note there, when we boarded the Seascape, the water slides were not open immediately upon embarkation, but then the very next week on the seashore, they were open upon embarkation. So I don't know why sometimes they are, other times they're not. Either way, you can go ahead and get them registered, and if the slides aren't open, you can go have fun on one of the pools instead. Hack number 8 is related to pool safety. Not all of the swimming pools on MSC ships have a shallow end, surprisingly enough. So if your little ones are not skilled swimmers, you're going to need to pay extra careful attention to ensure the safety of your children while they're using these pools. As swim school owners, we typically don't recommend arm floaties because they give your kids a false sense of security while swimming, but in this case, for the enjoyment of your vacation, it may be a good idea to bring some with you if you plan to use the swimming pools and your kids are not skilled swimmers. As an example, the jungle pool, which is definitely the more kid-friendly pool, at least at an initial glance on the seashore and the Seascape, doesn't have a shallow end. The entire pool is over 6 feet deep. So even if you're a full-grown adult, you may be treading water when you're using this pool. Conversely, the marina pool out on the Lido deck, which is the outdoor pool, does have a shallow end. So if you want your kids to be able to enjoy the pool and be able to touch the bottom while they're in it, using that outdoor marina pool may be the better option. They can have fun in any of the pools on the ships. You just need to be extra careful to pay close attention to how deep those pools are so that you can be prepared as parents and you can let your kids know what to expect. By choosing the right pools based on your little one's swim skills or by bringing the right safety equipment, you can ensure everybody can have a fun and a safe time aboard these MSC ships. It's just really important to understand that while that jungle pool and some of these other pools may look like a ton of fun, and they are, they may not have a shallow end, so when they jump in, they better be prepared to swim. Hack number 9 is all about maximizing the fun while still saving money. If you plan to enjoy the arcade aboard your MSC cruise, I highly recommend purchasing the Fun Pass in advance. For $80, you can get $140 worth of arcade credits that can be used for any of the arcade machines, the virtual reality simulators, the 4D interactive theater, and on the Seascape, you can even use it on the Robotron ride. These Fun Pass arcade credits are allocated to the cruise card for the person you purchase it for in advance. Something to note here, there's no reason you can't share these credits amongst 2, 3, 4, however many kids you want. In my experience, purchasing the Fun Pass for one of my kids has been more than enough credits for the 2 of them to have fun, while even Mackenzie and I get to have some fun in the process. You don't have to purchase one for every kid, and in fact, I've seen a lot of people say it was kind of exhausting having to use that many arcade credits when they purchased one for every kid. I recommend if you've got 2 kids, 1 Fun Pass is probably enough. If you have 4, maybe you purchase 2. You can probably have plenty of fun for 2 to 3 of your kids with a single Fun Pass. There's one important thing to keep in mind here though. When your kids have already used all of those Fun Pass credits, there's nothing to notify them, hey, you're out of Fun Pass credits, you can't have any more fun. It just starts adding room charges instead. Unless you want an unexpected bill at the end of your cruise, I highly recommend keeping a close eye on that to make sure you're not going over. By purchasing the Fun Pass in advance, your kids as well as yourselves can have a great time in the arcade and save some money in the process. Hack number 10 is all about making the most of the Marketplace buffet without the stress. The buffets on MSC have a fantastic variety of foods. No matter your dietary restrictions or personal preferences, they've got something for you. And they even have an area called the Kids Corner, which is filled with items your littlest ones are going to love that is exclusive to them. But the drawback is, it can be pretty chaotic at times, especially on embarkation day. So here's my tip. Find an area toward one of the back sides of the buffet that is your go-to area for getting a table every time you visit the buffet. That way, when you get to the buffet, instead of having to stress about finding a table, everybody can just go fill their plates up and they know where to go to find the table that you're going to enjoy your lunch or dinner at, or breakfast. By having this designated meeting space, everybody can focus on filling their plates and their bellies and not worry about the stress of figuring out where to go. Hack number 11 is all about finding the best times to enjoy the pools and water slides aboard MSC ships. The reality is that MSC is no better than all the other major cruise lines when it comes to having fun in the sun at the pools and water slides during the peak of the day, especially on sea days. My recommendation, if you must go there during the day, make sure you get your chairs no later than 7 a.m. And honestly, 6 or 6:30 is better, because the reality is if you get there after 7 a.m., if you find a spot at all, it's going to be at the very back or in an undesirable location where you're not going to be able to watch your kids while they're in the pool. A better option would be to go later during the day. If you go at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., as other people are leaving to get ready for dinner and the shows, the pools open up, the lounge chairs open up, and all of a sudden you can actually relax and enjoy yourselves and not have to worry about stepping on other bodies while you're at the pools. The water slides, the lines get significantly shorter. It's just a much better experience. I understand it's not the ideal time, but if you're willing to schedule around dinner, pushing it back a little, the shows, doing those later in the evening, if you're willing to do that, you can have a much more enjoyable time at the pools and the water slides by going later in the day. Hack number 12, we made it, y'all. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is something that I truly enjoy. But before I share it with you, one request. A lot of time and a lot of effort goes into creating what I hope is great content for you guys. Content that will help you make your own family memories aboard MSC or other cruise lines. And it would mean the world to me if you take a moment to like this video and subscribe if it's been useful or enjoyable, or if there's anything about it that you've gotten of value from it. Hack number 12, my final hack for making an unforgettable family cruise vacation on MSC. And that's related to the fun and quirky tradition of hiding cruise ducks. I see a lot of people on social media ask, do people hide cruise ducks on MSC? The resounding answer is an absolute yes. People do enjoy the cruise duck tradition on MSC. In fact, there's never been an MSC cruise that we've been on that we haven't found at least one duck, and usually more than that. So if you're wondering what even is this cruise duck tradition, here's what it is. So people bring those small rubber duckies that maybe you'd see in your kid's bathtub, or maybe if you've got a Jeep at home that you trade with your friends, they hide them across the cruise ships and other people find them. They're often personalized with notes about where the person hiding them is from, who they are, some sort of note just to make your day a little bit better. Usually something about the cruise dates and the ship that you're on. And this is just a fun way to make cruises more exciting, add a little bit of adventure and excitement to them. And it's really a great way just to connect with your fellow cruisers. Now, I'll say, I know not all of you enjoy the cruise duck tradition. And if you happen to fall into that camp, what I would say is just ignore it. If people are doing it and you just don't pay any mind to it, it's not going to detract at all from your cruise enjoyment, and others can find their own fun with it. So that's my recommendation. If you don't enjoy it, that's okay. No judgment here, but just ignore it and let others have fun with it if they are. With that said, a few tips for you if you do choose to participate. If you're trying to find them, look in the common spaces, right? Whether it's lounges and the MDRs, near the elevators, on the stairs, on the pool decks, whatever. Often you'll find them at a little bit lower levels, lower heights, because they're being hidden by kids a lot of times and they're not as tall. But sometimes they are in higher up spots. Everybody tries to get creative and find good hiding spots. You don't want them to be too good though, because you want people to be able to find them. But they're all over, especially the first half of the cruise when more people are, I guess, having fun because it's still new at that point. You're gonna find them all over the place. If you're hiding them, one recommendation, like I mentioned, put some sort of personalization to your ducks. You know, I usually order something on Etsy for like $30 or $40. I can get 50 laminated notes about the ducks that we're hiding, just shares where we're from, who we are, the name of the cruise line and the ship that we're on, and the dates. And it's just for people that choose to keep those ducks, it's just a fun memory for them to bring home with them. And finally, if you are hiding ducks, don't put them anywhere that would be a safety issue, right? Don't hide them on a stair. Make sure your little ones aren't putting them in a toilet or something like that. Just anything that could be a safety issue or a mechanical concern, avoid that. But other than that, have fun with it. Really, really enjoy it. And guys, whether it's hiding cruise ducks, finding cruise ducks, or just enjoying the cruise in general, I hope you have an amazing family cruise vacation. I hope you make some unforgettable memories. And it's been so much fun for me to make this video for you that I hope you guys have found something of value from it. So that's it. I am Evan with Family at Sea, and I hope that this has helped you in some way make your next unforgettable memory with your family aboard an MSC cruise. Until next time, bye guys.